Good afternoon, I'm Kitty Faversall with your latest Mersey News Live update. Future Merseyside police officers are currently taking part in a disaster training day in Birkenhead, where they were put through a series of real-life scenarios. Emma Carter attended the event.
The Emergency Service Training Centre provides a lifelike experience that teaches the vital practical skills needed in the field. The policing cohort took on 5 different scenarios, from a house fire to a road traffic accident. Executive Officer of the Training Centre, Dave Alcock, said it's teaching students to think on their feet.
Yeah, they're very important because what it allows the students to do is experience different aspects of the emergency services, i.e. firefighting, police, looking for missing persons, so it's quite important for them. Most of the scenarios are quite realistic, to be fair, and just put them under pressure to see how they react to these situations.
After 3 hours of non-stop activities, students found the experience intense but enjoyable.
Yeah, it was like a domestic argument up there. It was like something I've never experienced before, so obviously going into a situation like that there, my adrenaline spiked up. You were confused, didn't know what was going on.
It's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it.
It's definitely gone well. I feel like I've learnt a lot more here than I have in the classroom at all, and we've been there for 2 months now.
100%.
I've definitely learnt a lot more today.
Nick Keeley, former Merseyside police sergeant and lecturer at the university, said how previous students have gone on to flourish after this training.
Well, I think it's fabulous. I could probably get you a dozen or more students that have been on this and used this evidence, been and role played as well as being the students who've gone through the scenarios, and then have taken this experience into their policing interview, and then are now serving police officers and special constables with a vast amount of probably 20 plus forces across the country.
Today, the training continues for the future police officers. Emma Carter, Mersey News Live, Liverpool.
Tributes have poured in following the stabbing of Ava White outside Primark on Thursday. The city centre is set to light up, with the vigil taking place on Saturday at 6 p.m, with glow sticks being handed out. Residents are encouraged to bring their own lights to pay tribute to the 12-year-old. 4 boys were arrested, and a 14-year-old has appeared in court charged with murder and possession of a bladed article. From today, face coverings will be mandatory in shops and on public transport, and all travellers returning to the UK will require PCR testing. The temporary restrictions have been put in place in order to prevent the spread of the new COVID-19 Omicron variant. Ryan reports on the reaction in Liverpool.
In Liverpool, there wasn't much evidence of the new restrictions being taken that seriously. The majority of passersby paying lip service to the government's new guidelines, even though in the height of the pandemic, the city was one of the worst hit areas.
I think they need to put them in. I could never, we're from Wales, we've always had to wear masks. We've never been exempt from them. Shops and transport. Could never understand why England was. I think if that's what you've got to do to keep everybody safe, this is what you've got to do.
Well, I think the least that we can do, I think we should have been stricter from the start, and we shouldn't have relaxed things when it looked as though it was getting better.
I would have known all this before, but we booked everything in January, so nobody had any idea it was going to be this complicated. But, to take a test to get in, a test to get out, that I've taken 5 COVID tests now in the last 2 weeks.
Early evidence suggests the new variant, Omicron, has a higher reinfection risk, but scientists say it will take about 3 weeks before it is known how the heavily mutated variant impacts on the effectiveness of vaccines. The Prime Minister will be holding a press conference from Downing Street later today.
Lord Mayor Mary Rasmussen has switched on the Christmas lights in the city centre. Here's what she had to say to our reporter, Rhoda Al-Haider.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
After spending last year in lockdown, Liverpool is ready to make this Christmas one to remember with their loved ones through the festive celebrations happening around the city.
The tree is here every year, and I think it's really important that it goes in the heart of the shopping area, so people are passing by. It gets everyone in the mood for Christmas. It's exciting. People are really looking forward to Christmas this year. We're all tired this year, so we want Christmas. But this is a place where people are passing by all the time, and it's really important for us as Christians as well to have the Christmas trip here, to remember that Christmas is principally a feast when we remember the coming of Jesus into the world. So everything about this site is brilliant. Have a really good Christmas.
While encouraging to continue following COVID guidelines, Lord Mayor Mary Rasmussen hopes that this Christmas brings joy to everyone.
This year, we're a bit further on. We can meet, we can have our Christmas tree, we can have our crib. It means a lot, and I think it means a lot to younger people as well, because for them, it was so tough the last year, the last 18 months. So hopefully this will bring a little bit of Christmas cheer and bring a smile to people's faces, if nothing else.
Look, it's snowing, everyone. Happy Christmas.
Rhoda Al-Haider, Mercy News Live.
Steve Rotherham has pledged to make the River Mersey sewage-free by 2030. The announcement comes shortly after the government environmental bill was approved by Parliament, which will put clauses on water companies to limit the amount of sewage discharge into the UK's waterways. The previous target for the clean-up was 2040, but this has been moved forward in response to public anger. Sexual health clinics across Merseyside are working together to raise awareness of STDs by creating new spaces for the LGBTQ+ community. Giovanna Thompson reports.
Liverpool Royal Hospital has relaunched a sexual health clinic dedicated to non-binary and transgender people. The Access Clinic, located on the first floor of the hospital, was hit hard during the pandemic, with patients not being able to have face-to-face appointments and receive treatment. Butterfly, led by practitioner Hayley alongside sexual health and alcohol practitioner Chris, say it's important for people in the LGBTQ+ community to have a safe space.
The clinic was originally put in 2017-18, but unfortunately when COVID's hit, like everything else, a lot of our specialised clinics came to a standstill. And we just feel now is the right time to be obviously able to open the doors again and allow better access to healthcare, especially sexual health.
Access are working hard to raise awareness of STDs such as AIDS by promoting safe sex.
From live events, one of the things that we're very excited about is that the Liver building is being turned red to promote World AIDS Day, and that's in collaboration with Access.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday have rolled into Terrible Tuesday when we count the cost of splashing out the cash on all the online and high street bargains, crying out to our hard-pressed bank balances. But it's not all about blowing our budgets. Romy Grigg spoke to a small fashion business about doing something good during a holiday notorious for overconsumption.
Following this year's massive Black Friday sales, with brands such as Pretty Little Thing selling items as low as 8p, Megan McKay, a small business owner and recent John Moores fashion graduate, turned her small clothing business into an act of goodwill.
So I planned to do a charity collection, and it just happened to be a good timing by the time the samples arrived that it was hitting that sort of weekend. So I thought, well, why don't we take something that's like maybe not the best thing for the environment, best thing for people, and kind of put it on its head and do something that, you know, people could spend that little bit extra cash on, and like you don't have that sort of like regret of your purchase being like, oh my God, I bought like 100 things. Well, actually this one goes to a charity, you know, it's really good. It's a nice feeling, I think, especially when you're purchasing like a piece like that.
However, big companies have seen a reduction in this year's Black Friday sales as more people choose to shop sustainably.
Black Friday, as all of us know, is like one of these ones where everyone just goes a bit crazy. It's like the first sort of proper shopping weekend before Christmas, and it's notorious for like overconsumption, people just kind of shopping, not really thinking as much as you probably would. I think a lot of people do prepare and, you know, definitely have like a checklist. Here's what I need for my friends. Here's what I'm buying for so-and-so, and this is when I can get it discounted. But there is like a sort of a more overlying overconsumption, a lot more buying that maybe isn't necessarily like, I absolutely have to have this. It's just like, well, it's reduced 70%.
Romy Grigg, Mersey News Live.
Mersey News Live reached out to Pretty Little Thing and Misguided for comment, but were told no one from the press teams were available due to a large amount of similar inquiries. Now for sport with our presenter Romy Grigg.
Kitty.
In the last few minutes, we have just heard about the death of former Liverpool player Ray Kennedy. Kennedy died at the age of 70 from Parkinson's. He made close to 400 appearances for the Reds, winning multiple honours, including the European Cup 3 times. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has said he's surprised Mohamed Salah only came 7th in the standings for the Ballon d'Or. The Egyptian has been widely considered one of the best players in the world this season, but it was Paris Saint-Germain's Lionel Messi took the men's prize for a record 7th time. The Reds take on Everton tomorrow night in the Merseyside derby for the first time since Rafa Benitez, who managed Liverpool in 2005 Champions League win, joined the Toffees in the summer. Benitez said his side have to go back to defending as a unit as they look for a first win in 6 games against their rivals. That's all for now. Back to you, Kitty.
And now for weather. So we've had snow in Cheshire and North Wales, gale force winds and pouring rain over the last week. To find out what's in store for us next, here's our windswept weather expert, Beth Lindop.
Well, the rain's on its way out. As you can see, it's pretty windy and it's going to get windier again tonight. It's going to be pretty chilly as well, with lowest temperatures of 4 degrees Celsius. There is going to be some sunshine tomorrow, which is good news, but beware because it's going to be a very wintry weekend. Back to you in the studio.
For more on these stories, www.merseynewslive.co.uk. But finally, we leave you with some memories of Liverpool legend Ray Kennedy, who passed away today, aged 70.
Here's McDermott. Ray Kennedy, oh, what a brilliant run! Ray Kennedy, oh, what a marvellous goal! What an absolutely goal!